we got two platforms that we're having trouble getting on. That's okay. Devin Keller here, aka the Grand Fuba, with none other than Sandy Mackay. Let's go live, Sandy. How you doing, brother?
Yeah. Oh, amazing, man. How about yourself?
Amazing. So, let's just kind of like let people know what's going on here. We're kind of just gathering here, having some conversation, basically kind of informing some of the people and having some fun. Really want to thank you for your time, by the way. It's really cool. We can get you on here.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's exciting. Love sharing content, especially during these times. All the crazy stuff out there. There's lots to talk about. So happy to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
Awesome, man. Awesome. What's COVID been like? I mean, personally, what's COVID life been like?
I mean, I started out like most people probably. I was I guess I didn't. I started out in Thailand. I was there in March with family for a wedding. Yeah, it was interesting. We were the wedding happened, and then it was like the next week everything went crazy. So it was like their last weekend they would have ever had a chance to make it happen, and it was fun. It was my cousins or some family there and everything. It was a good time, and then we had a bit of a crazy time getting home, but it wasn't the end of the world. Stayed a couple of days and enjoyed kind of a really, really unique travel experience because there was nobody in these places where there's usually like tens of thousands, at least hundreds of thousands, who knows, right? And there was nobody there. So it was pretty awesome, actually, in a lot of ways, and kind of weird at the same time because they're trying to navigate things back home as we're there. And I did a little more work than I was planning on while I was there, but it was great. And then came home and like, actually, even while we were there, but you get a little bit of fear here and there, and you're just trying to do everything we can to get past that so we can make, actual decisions and move on with things. And so that's still lingered, I think, for a little bit, but that's been I think the biggest thing for us and for like our group, our team and people we work with is just how do we get past that fear pretty much every day. And it's easier now, but a month ago it was a bit harder to get past that so we can actually think, be creative, and like come up with different things to navigate this and add value to the world, because it was challenging there for a bit, definitely.
Well, yeah, and I think as you were saying, most people were like that because of when everything first happened, everybody was so unsure of like what's actually happening. The conspiracy theorists couldn't come out yet, really, if you think about it, and everything kind of got put on pause, which is what we've seen in our business as well, and you have as well. I mean, one of the things I want to bring up here too is like when we talk about the market, what I've seen is the market's not broken; it was put on pause. But what's it been like for you guys and the team, and like, I mean, mindset wise and business wise, as far as the market's been, what's it been like for you guys?
Yeah, just as I was saying before, a lot of the team and all of us were kind of some fear there at the start, definitely, and people worried about their livelihood and how they're going to make money for the next while, and like most people were kind of concerned about that, and that's eased up a bit, and the market was really pretty. It took a real weird pause / who knows, day by day, nobody knew what was going on for the first maybe 3 weeks of April, even first half of April for sure. Everyone was kind of in limbo a bit. Some clients are not sure what to do, and we're doing our best to navigate, and kind of see what's going to happen. But it was very challenging, odd times. Market didn't take a huge dip because it was only, up to today, what we've only been, has it been 8 weeks maybe at most since it started? And so even that in real estate world is not really long enough to make a huge impact, because there was still a lot of people that had to move, had to buy and sell, and in that period that had already set themselves up to do so. And so it didn't collapse necessarily, the market wise, at least where we are, which is primarily Golden Horseshoe and Hamilton primarily. It's slowed down. There was a lot less sales, and the price didn't really make a huge move. It slightly went down a little bit. I think that was mainly the higher end market really making just no activity. And so the lower price points, first time buyer price points were still fairly active, and I guess I shouldn't say pretty active. They were definitely not as active, but they were price point wise, it was still pretty strong and just kind of staying where it was. So seeing how that played out was interesting. Team wise and mindset wise, we kind of did our best to maintain positivity and do activities, because the thing as a real estate, any sales role really, these are the times where you can actually take some market share. And if you maintain some activities, probably double, triple down on your activities. If you still want to hit your targets, then you can come out of this, whenever we do come out of this, fully even better than you were before, right? So that's what we keep preaching to everyone that we talk to, whether it's like within our groups or just outside of it too. Just as an industry, you got to keep plowing through, and you'll be better for it at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't say big. It's a good time to be building relationships, checking on your past clients, your current clients. Really, if anything, a tool for qualifying buyers and sellers, probably a lot more than than when the markets are so busy and everything's moving a lot quicker. It's probably harder to get to know some of those clients a bit more. But now, obviously, being able to build those relationships more is probably a good thing. I mean, we've talked to a number of different businesses. I mean, obviously we service primarily the real estate industry, but and mindset wise, and it's always been, I mean, pretty much the same things. The beginning, people were kind of like, oh, what's happening? The middle was kind of like, okay, we can kind of like, let's figure out how to do this. And now people are like, okay, let's go. We're done.
I think that's the general thought now.
Yeah.
There's definitely still, if you're a little more impacted by it, or you had actual real life issues with it, like people in your world getting sick and stuff like that, maybe you're thinking different. But generally, I mean, there's a lot of impact happening with the economy slowing down for a long time. That might be worse than the sickness. And we can go, that's a whole long.
Oh yeah.
we don't have to have, but like there's a big impact by that happening. So we got to get back to business in some way as much as we can. And we got to
for sure.
Got to still do the services we were doing. Otherwise, the whole world shuts down. So that's what we've thought for a while now, the last few weeks at least.
Yeah. So virtually then, I mean, I don't like calling it adaptation. I don't believe that that's the right word. I call it pivoting, because the goal is still the same. It's just you kind of take different ways. Adapting is like changing things. I mean, really the end goal is the same. So like pivot wise, what have you guys, I don't want to say something new, but like what have you emphasize more, say like to a seller or to a buyer virtually? I mean, and we'll get back in a couple of the other side projects you have going on as well, but virtually, how's that going on? I mean, you guys are probably doing your team meetings over Zoom or whatever programs. What does that look like for you and your clients?
A lot of changes, a lot of pivots, a lot of good, positive changes that will keep actually. From that standpoint, honestly, there's been a lot of great stuff that has come from this in our business world. I think there's going to be more positives than negatives. I think a lot more. Obviously, photography, videography, all that stuff has become a lot more important, and having quality content from that standpoint has been essential now, and more essential than ever, because we can do walkthroughs with clients without ever, we were forced to do some walkthroughs with clients without ever seeing the home, right? And it's actually added a nice layer of qualification maybe, or of like efficiency there with timing for ourselves and for the clients. Just, you can look at 10 homes, for example, with a buyer, and you could take them through virtually. We could sit here like this and be touring homes, and there's different tools to do that now, where we can do that and spend maybe 45 minutes an hour on 10 properties, whereas before that would take us all day. And now we can do that, maybe pick the 2 or 3 that we really like, and then go see them physically and be ready to go, right? Versus spending a whole day finding a few of them, then going out, spending maybe they want to go see them again, spend another few hours. From our standpoint, from the client standpoint too, it's just a lot more efficient and better use of time. I think it's actually going to be the way we go for a long time, I hope. So I think it's a lot better that way. And, listing appointments, things like that, a lot of virtual appointments. One of the biggest things we've emphasized from the way we do business is it's now more important than ever to actually know your stats and become like a local economist versus just being more of an order taker, which at times realtors have been, because quite frankly, the market's just been so hot that it's just at least the right price points, it hasn't made a massive difference what you price something at or how you come out with the product you're selling there. It hasn't made a bit of an impact, but it's never been more important in the last 10 years probably than it is right now to actually price right, have a good strategy going in, and use all the tools we have. And it's really massive difference in the seller's pockets at the end of the day. So it's been good that way, because it helps the professionals rise to the top, and the non-professionals or half part-timers type of thing that can't dedicate that type of time to learning this stuff. It kind of towards their value proposition. So better for the pros, not so great for the part-times, but I mean, it's probably the way it should be.
Well, and I mean, hey, like it's weeding out the weak, I guess. But that being said, too, there's probably benefits to being in the business, a little bit longer than most, and knowing, the marketing campaigns have changed. I mean, there's probably things that have gotten scaled back or moved or pivoted, to a different sort of campaign that way too. I mean, I could totally understand that as well. And we're, for us as well, we actually got way busier during this time because of the services we offer, and then mostly current listings. But now this week is nuts for us. It's absolutely, like, we can tell the markets are starting to pick up just by the amount of, I mean, Monday and Tuesday alone, there's about I would tell you almost 30 jobs between the 2 days alone.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are probably one of the few, I mean, that are right away going to have pretty hopefully positive impact, I would think. Oh, yeah. And then, right in line with the devices we're using right now to do these videos and Zooms and all those things. Obviously, there's some companies that are going to thrive through this that that are benefiting for sure, and probably will for long term, because it probably was needed in the beginning. It was needed anyways. Just expedited the.
Well, and you said it right at the get-go. I mean, the agents that might not have been doing certain things, we're talking digitally versus, print marketing and stuff like that. You're seeing a bigger impact now. And when it comes down to awareness, I mean, our company is all about awareness, and I think that's what it is. It's adding value to people before they even get to know you. And I think, that kind of marketing campaign, it's like having your name on a billboard and stuff like that. But that being said, too, let's talk about this virtual. I mean, you guys are calling it a virtual growth summit.
Yeah.
With Keller Williams Young Professionals, KWYP. It's a mix up there. What's like planning that?
Well, we saw like it's been challenging because it's been so fast. But what was it? Maybe I think it was about 4 weeks ago that we actually came up with the idea, decided to go for it, like within a matter of 24 hours, because we were looking at things, and in Keller Williams, this week we do a big charity thing every year, not just this year, but on the Thursday this week, we always do a big day where everyone gives back to the communities, spends some time in the communities, and takes the day off business and just pours into the communities, in different charitable efforts, depending on where you are location wise. And I mean, going into this year, we're kind of like, wow, a month ago, it was like, are we even going to be able to do anything? Like, the point of it is to try not to do just because financial is great to give to charity. It's also the easiest way to give to charity. Yeah. Time and putting actual effort into things is also needed, and something that is a little more challenging because you got to take away from other things you're doing in life, right? So that's more the point, is to do that type of effort. And so we were sitting there being like, wow, I wonder what we can actually do, because it's going to be a weird time this year, obviously. And then everyone was coming up with these things, and we wanted to come up with something that was a little different. There's so many Zoom content things online, and it's crazy, right? The amount of content that's out there now in the last month. And so we came up with this idea to give back to the communities charitably, but also to the real estate industry, as far as like great content that's hopefully a little more professional, a little more put together than, the average Zoom, webinar or interview, the sort of thing that's out there. And so we spent the last 4 weeks putting this event on, getting some great speakers to come on. I think we've got an awesome lineup of speakers. It's going to be cool. We got 17, I think now, speakers that are going to be talking around the North America, ranging. Some of them are really in the real estate industry, like doing this day to day. Some of them are leading teams. Some of them are leading brokerages. Some of them are not in real estate at all, but they're a business community. We have the top body language expert in the world coming on, Mark Bowden. He's going to be pretty interesting to tell you how to do what we're doing right now, but even more impactfully. And then what's your language look like? What's your energy look like on camera, which is cool. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Because how it's never been more important to be able to do that, right?
When you're normally in front of people, like in front of them, and you can intuitively gather their emotion, and now you're kind of sitting with them. You don't know what their hands are doing. It's like what's his name from Talladega Nights? He doesn't know what to do with his hands.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't know what to do with my hands here. And then who knows what they're wearing? Who knows, right? It's all crazy world now. But it's we trained our salespeople. A lot of us have worked a lot of our lives in perfecting some of those tools, like to be face to face, and now all of a sudden it's like instantly you got to go online and do the same, hopefully create the same impact. And yeah, so it's cool. We're going to learn a lot about that. The main thing really is the donate, and so we're raising money. There is a fee to the event, but it's all going to charities. So we're doing 100% of the proceeds to 3 different charities. One of them is KW Cares, which is a charity within the company that donates money to basically realtors that are in need and are different struggles health-wise, or there's natural disasters that, a lot in the U.S., for example, like Katrina and things like that, have ripped out whole communities, and there's a lot of realtors in there that all of a sudden have no money for the next year or 2 years, whatever, right? So it gives back to those type of challenges in life, which is cool. We have Kiva, which is a small business. They do provide small business loans and that to companies around the world, and so we're going to give some money to that charity as well, to help support small businesses, which was a big need that we saw when we was looking back a month ago. We were trying to figure out where to put these funds, and that was a big need in our world. We're all kind of small businesses in our sense anyways, and then obviously our whole communities are filled with them, so we want to make sure that they're getting some value out of this. And KW Kids Can, which is a youth leadership sort of a program, which helps teach kids about money and leadership and things like that, so they can grow up and be great entrepreneurs and business people. So those are the 3 charities we're donating to, and that's where all the funds are going. So 100% of the profits are going towards those companies. So we're doing it out of giving value to the real estate community and the business world, and hopefully providing a ton of money for those companies and those charities to succeed and do what they do even better. So all tied into this Red Day week, which I actually got the shirt on right now, funnily enough, which is
you got your names in the way. I don't know. I wish I could make that better. Let's see if I can.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. There we go. Red Day.
Earlier, because we actually I had another interview I was doing with someone earlier, Mo Anderson, who actually was the former CEO of Keller Williams, and she created this. It's her birthday week. That's why this is happening this week, and it's Renew, Energize, and Donate. And it's just a tradition. I think it's been 20 years or something we've been doing it, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's fun. So all that rounding out a great week of kind of charity and culture building for our company, and that's really why we put that event on. Time last year, the Real Estate Growth Summit, just the same thing, just not virtual.
Yeah.
And yeah, I honestly don't even know how that's going to play out this year. So we're kind of looking at that, being like, we had it all planned. We have all these speakers planned. We have all these sponsors, etc. And now it's kind of, I think it'll happen, but maybe it'll be a bit different. So we weren't sure what that was going to look like, and so we just came up with this event. I think it's going to be awesome. It's a free, not free. It's a 2-day paid for event, but you also get all the recordings. So you have to be there live. If you can't make it, you can still grab all the benefits, and there's a bunch of bonuses built in that a lot of the speakers have donated, which has been great. All to hopefully impact the real estate community and all these small businesses that are in need. So,
well, and just quick for actually 2 things for the people that are watching. No, I am not related to the Keller Williams brand. Everybody always asks me. Yeah. But the other thing is I have on the ticker below. So if people are interested, they can either go to the Facebook page, or they can go, and if they literally just copy this link here, and they can sign up to join this. It starts tomorrow at 11, goes till 3, and then Wednesday same time. Correct?
Yeah, that's it. And then even if you miss part of it, or like I said, you can. It's all the recordings are sent out afterwards, and you don't have to go at all. If you can't make it, you can't make it. But for the ones that are there live, we are going to do a few giveaways as well, and some prizes. So it'll be cool. There's some pretty great prizes, thousands of dollars worth of prizes that are thousands of dollars that are going to be given away. So some cool stuff there to add on that we haven't told everyone what the prizes are yet, but there's a bunch of them. So if you're tuning in live, you'll be able to participate in that and maybe grab some freebies.
Suspense, right? The good stuff. It can't be a trip, because where are you going to go?
Can't be a trip. I know, unfortunately. But there'll be some good stuff. Don't worry about it. There'll be some
I believe it. I've seen some of them. I actually was at was it the most recent one? Was it Mississauga? The KWYP.
Yeah, probably.
Was it just after Christmas, or just, I can't remember now.
We've done a lot. I don't know, to be honest. We've done a lot. It could have been probably. We did a bunch of stuff in the new year, and then obviously got kind of shut down with a lot of things. But
yeah, totally. So did I read that you celebrated an anniversary over COVID too, though?
Personally, you mean? Yeah, actually, we did.
Yeah.
We had my wife's and I anniversary, 3 years. When was that? April 20. It was so it'd be almost a few weeks ago.
So what? How many years?
We're just 3.
Oh, just 3. You mean, but you've been married 3, but how long have you been together?
Longer than that. I think we've been 7, so 10 years actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You better get that right, because if she's watching the recording after.
No, I know. You're asking all the tough ones now.
That's how we roll, though. So what did you guys like? What did you guys end up doing for your? I mean, what would you have normally done, and then what did you end up doing?
Well, I had an amazing around the world adventure planned, and unfortunately, it all couldn't do it. No, I didn't have it crazy, but I had, we would have probably done something a little more fun. We didn't really do much, to be honest. That was probably the week after that is when I sensed the world getting a little more back to normal. But still during that week, it was like, yeah, it's not really cool to be seeing out amounts of people. It would be ashamed probably still. So we were, we hung out at home, ordered in some food, which was actually a change because we had been eating at home like almost pretty much every meal almost for a while. Because we were actually stuck at home too. Once we came back from Thailand there at the start of April, we were 2 weeks at home. So we were like but we've only been outside for about a week or so, maybe 10 days at that point. And then just hung out at home, ordered some food, hung out.
You went to the most amazing restaurant, which was in your kitchen.
Basically.
So have you guys been ordering a lot of food since this or?
A little bit. I mean.
More than normal?
Probably. We like to go out a lot. That's one of the things we do like to do a lot. We don't have kids, so we usually do go out a lot, and that's like one of the things we like to enjoy doing. And we're in Hamilton. There's a lot of great restaurants, a lot of great new restaurants coming up like every week almost. Yeah. We obviously haven't been
myself.
Yeah, we haven't been able to go do that, but we've been able to order some in. So we've tried out some new ones, the ones that are, staying alive and doing business through this, which a lot of them have. Just, a lot of them are just, we want to support them as much as we can, right? Because that's something we love anyways, normally. And so it'd be a shame to see a bunch of them not make it through this.
Well, it's true. I mean, and in Hamilton, there are so many. It's like, I think I've ordered like the Mule. Such good tacos, man. I mean, like amazing tacos. I mean, I know Mezcal has them too, but I just can't like. Oh man, and Radius. I gotta tell you, I'm missing Radius. I love Radius.
Yeah,
Radius is good. And then I've, like a lot of the local ones. There's a place near me called Polly's. Amazing chicken wings, like really good.
We're the one actually. When we were on our honeymoon there, we ordered from this new place I'd never heard of before. It's new, I think. It's a sushi place. And if anyone likes that, I'm sure a lot of people like sushi now.
Yeah,
Martin, it's called, which is I never heard of before. It's actually, I think it's probably technically Stony Creek, but on the east end there is incredible. Actually, it was probably the best sushi I've had in this area. It was great. It was great.
So would you say that's probably one of the things that you miss the most, other than, I mean, obviously talking to people, because we are, is going out to eat?
Probably, yeah, I'd say so. That's something we do a lot of. And so, yeah, we missed that for sure. I mean, for a while, it was just seeing people or being able to go hang out with anybody. But
yeah, I mean, dude, mine's a haircut. I need a haircut so bad. It's like.
So do I. Terribly. This is the longest my hair. I have had long hair before. I'm debating just going the whole distance again.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I'm feeling pretty rough here. My wife was wanting to cut it for me. I was a bit questionable on that, so I haven't let her do that yet.
Scott, our CEO founder, my business partner, he had his wife cut it, and she's gonna kill me for telling the story, by the way. But she went to go cut it, and she had the guard on to like blend it, and then she was fixing it up, so she took the guard off, and then she went to go blend it again, forgot to put the guard on, right up the side of his head. It was just.
So what did he do? Did he go just get rid of it all, or no?
No, he kept it. He's a trooper, man. He just left it in. Maybe a little bit of a comb over. I don't know, but it was hilarious because I remember doing a Zoom call and he just looks at me like this. He's like,
"Well, not that many people are gonna be by to see it, anyways, right?" So
no, I mean they were like you. They were in Florida, so they had to quarantine for the first couple of weeks. But hilarious.
Up a haircut. Now's the time to do it, I think.
Well, and you know what the funny thing is I'm only 33, but I'm telling you right now, it's gray. and I didn't realize how gray it was.
I have the same thing. I was saying to someone over the weekend about that. I'm 34, so probably similar stuff coming in, and it becomes a lot more noticeable when it's longer, right?
Well, and it's just like it's 30s, man. Like, I mean, my grandpa's almost 80 and he's all gray, but he's 80. Like, we're 30s, man. Like, it's and hockey hair. I mean, I don't know if you were, but like the wings, that's starting to come back. So I'm thinking
I'm gonna have coming soon back here. I can feel them, back of the ears.
Yeah, it's like the old, like an Ovechkin or something like that as well. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here real quick. But I do wanna get your input, and I've been asking everybody this, right? So, I mean, again, I'm not sure if you agree with me that the market was paused, not ruined. Nobody, there's no catastrophe. The market wasn't broken. But what is your insight as to what's going to happen as we phase back into normalcy with the market, with the real estate market, and even in the economy in general? But what do you think is going to happen? What do you think prices, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think. Well, this is just what I think. Obviously, who knows, right? Because it's going to be hard to tell. I think short term, we're going to have a big spike here. We're already having it in terms of maybe, I don't know necessarily pricing, but definitely activity, because we just missed out on the hottest month in real estate world, basically in April, or usually one of the hottest months, if not the hottest.
Yeah.
So we missed out on that. And I think there's a lot of people that were ready to do something. And so the activities, we can already see it's coming back. Whether that means prices are going up or not necessarily sure. They're not going to be going down. I can almost guarantee you that they won't be going down, at least in the very short term. Project that out longer. I mean, look, the government just put in however many billions or trillions of dollars into the economy that kind of just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Didn't really exist before. Like, they basically print money now. So it's interesting how that, it's just sky essentially. So that's going to have an impact somewhere down the line in some way. Short term, it's helping people get through this, but long term, I mean, some sort of inflation is going to come from that. I think like the money is, I don't know, there's a lot of new money in the system. So usually when that happens, commodities generally become more imperative, more important, housing being one of those. And if, money, the other thing with that too, though, is that money is potentially going to get harder to get. They might put some strains on that, and maybe they'll be a little more, careful about these lending institutions. Maybe they'll be a little careful how they lend money. That might lead to some challenges with accessing funds, with accessing loans, with accessing money. So short term, it's very cheap money. Everything's cheap. It's very easy, and it's amazing for a lot of people. But longer term, I think, it's very hard to say. I think potentially
we don't have a crystal ball, so it's very hard to tell.
Hard to tell. I do think I know of a lot of stuff in the U.S. They were predicting a recession before this even happened.
Yeah.
So that could be happening still. I think nothing's going to happen until after the election in the U.S., which is November, right? So I don't think anything major is going to happen before that. I do think perhaps next spring we could have a bit of a slower market than we're used to. Maybe even a little evening out or downturn in pricing, perhaps. Maybe not just in real estate. The whole economy might slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Although I think we're going to have a bit of a spike here over the next maybe 6 to 12 months after whenever we kind of transition out of this phase. So I think short term it's going to be really active because there's all this pent up in every sort of way, every industry almost. There's all this pent up kind of demand for action. So I think we're going to have a flurry of craziness and probably a lot of good things happening for businesses, but then I would be just careful in a lot of ways of how you're allocating funds and whatnot as a business person going into next year. I'm not so sure. I'd be a little more questionable on the economy. I'd just be careful. I think that's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, but it's a good opinion because obviously when you go through this and you see the fluctuations in the market like you have, I mean, being in the industry, for a number of years, for you to see, enough of different things, right? You were 2017. We also, at the end of the day, that's what it's, your opinion is based on your experience, right? So, which is much appreciated. So before we go, what's the first thing you're going to do once this is back to normal? Get a haircut?
Yeah, honest, that would be right up there. Get a haircut for sure. I mean, I'd love to take a little 2 or 3 day vacation of some sort. Just go somewhere, like somewhere like within, it hasn't been that long for me. I was away in most of March, so I'm maybe better equipped for this, this time than at most. But I think I'd still like to, even just an hour drive somewhere, or go to a winery or something. Like I'd love to do something adventurous for at least 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, totally. I get it. Sandy, thanks again for joining us. Much appreciated. Anybody wants to check out the KWIP event, they can go to kybcanada.com. They can click on, I'm going to ticker this right now, go to the Facebook page as well, but also MRN, the Mackay Realty Network as well. Check out you guys. Anybody has any questions or whatever, definitely get in touch with you. They can DM us as well. So thanks again for your time.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks so much, Devin. It was awesome. A lot of fun. Always love doing these things. Hopefully there's some value in this for people. And sure we'll chat more with everyone listening soon. Hopefully reach out to me if you have any other questions or thoughts. Happy to help.
We got tons of questions for you, pal. All right, man. Thanks again. Take care. Cheers.
Thanks.